The View is a victim of the sunk cost fallacy. How can you now speak the truth when for years you've been telling lie after lie after lie? Now you're carrying this big bag of rocks around you because it's too harmful for their ego to admit that we really were dishonest. And they could be honest. All they would have to say is, look, we hate Trump so much. We were willing to lie about Joe Biden because we felt he was preferable. We thought our lying and our cover-up was on your behalf. Just say that. You're still scum, but at least you're...
And you need to defend yourself all the time. As you may heard, I filed a few lawsuits, and I'm in the court now because they accuse me of doing stuff that I never did in my life. And they wrote lies. And I will not allow that. I will fight till the end because I don't want that they damage my reputation and my...
The shockwave from Melania Trump's explosive $500 million lawsuit has thrown daytime television into absolute chaos, and this time, Greg Gutfeld isn't holding back. Armed with sarcasm sharp enough to cut steel, he goes straight for Sunny Hostin's carefully polished image, exposing what he frames as manufactured outrage and hollow moral grandstanding. This isn't just a roast, it feels like a full-scale public takedown, delivered through comedy that hits hard and leaves marks. As the courtroom drama intensifies, Greg fires punchlines like legal weapons, cold, calculated, and devastatingly precise. One thing is undeniable, the talk show stage has transformed into a blistering cross-examination under a relentless spotlight. Watch closely.
I think she hates him.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all agree on that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out. She does not want to be the first lady anymore.
They agree with you.
She doesn't want to be the first lady. She destroyed the Rose Garden. Who hates Christmas? Melania Trump hates Christmas. She doesn't want to decorate for Christmas. She doesn't want
She doesn't care about him.
She doesn't want to sleep in the same room with him. She can't tolerate him.
Allegedly.
And she does.
Yeah, how do you know all this?
Yeah, how do you know?
You have to wonder, where does Sunny Hostin get her opinions?
Yeah.
Like you said, it's obviously from her husband. She has to tell her what to say on The View because without it, she's got nothing up there. She's not very bright. But the problem with her is that she went full racist. She injected skin color into a fairly generic behavior seen in all spouses.
Greg Gutfeld strolled into the studio like he'd just hit the jackpot, not at some casino or corner store, but a prize wrapped in pure scandal and explosive drama. Sunny had just been hit with a $500 million lawsuit from Melania Trump herself, and Greg lit up like a kid on Christmas morning. No scriptwriters were needed, this moment practically wrote itself. The scene was comedy gold, a lawsuit this shocking, coming straight from a first lady, was a perfect pitch landing right in Gutfeld's sweet spot, and he smashed it without mercy.
Reserved Melania Trump is furious. The woman who wants to be First Lady is taking on several media outlets that she says printed false reports about her personal life. Now Melania is threatening to sue. Les Trent has the latest.
Hostin's obsession with race gets thrown back in her face. Today's video comes to us from Sunny Hostin. Sounds like a town. We're in Sunny Hostin. She was on PBS's Finding Your Roots, a show dedicated to researching celebrity ancestry. For context, Sunny is a staunch supporter of reparations and has made a fortune spewing nonsense about white privilege and racial justice.
The show kicked off with Greg's trademark devilish grin, the kind that screams, someone's about to get absolutely destroyed. For a split second, it was clear, Greg wasn't just holding a mic, he was wielding a blowtorch, ready to turn Sunny Hostin's polished image into charred wreckage. He caught the irony instantly. Sunny, always perched high on her moral pedestal, had finally gone too far. And Melania, the quiet first lady everyone called reserved? She didn't speak, she struck. The $500 million lawsuit came crashing down like a freight train ripping through a rom-com, leaving no trace of mercy behind.
Well, turns out, she's not as oppressed as she claims she is. She's actually the descendant of slave owners from Europe. Here's how she took the news. Roll it.
Wow. I'm a little bit in shock. I just always thought of myself as Puerto Rican, half Puerto Rican. I didn't think I was
My family was originally from Spain and slaveholder.
Greg didn't hold back, not even a little. He went after Sunny like a man on a mission, painting her as the host who thinks shouting equals intelligence, the one who genuinely believes interrupting everyone proves she's the smartest in the room. For a moment, you could almost see him humming with excitement, tearing apart the entire spectacle. Sunny's relentless crusade against the Trumps had finally collapsed, and it wasn't quiet. Greg called it poetic justice on a runway walk, Karma strutting in designer heels, storming into court like it owned the place.
Everything. So how are you feeling, my friend?
I think it's actually pretty interesting that my husband and I have shared news.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that. And I think it's great for our children to know this information. I guess it's a fact of life that this is how some people made their living, on the backs of others.
Then Greg painted a chaotic backstage scene, Sunny in full panic mode, trying to act like a $500 million lawsuit was just another normal day, but it felt forced. Her team? Probably scrambling online, Googling things like, can arrogance count as a legal defense? Sweat pouring, hearts racing everywhere. Greg joked that her lawyers were probably buried in old episodes of The View, hunting for the exact moment one of Sunny's explosive rants pushed Melania over the edge. Every sharp outburst, every dramatic interruption? Now evidence in a potential legal disaster.
And then she bashes the company like they don't pay their workers.
Right.
You know, that's like, so she's still like one of them, you know, she's one of them. Oh, yeah, but I give them extra money. So sweet, that's Sunny. Paul, do you catch The View very often? Is it on your DVR?
Look, it's The View into what? Domestic hell? What exactly is it a view into? And who came up with the names, if you think about it?
The irony was impossible to miss. For years, Sunny presented herself as the moral center of daytime TV, the calm voice in chaos, the wise judge of everything messy. But now, chaos wasn't just visiting, it had moved in for good. Greg didn't hesitate, he pointed out the brutal twist. Sunny, who preached accountability like scripture, was suddenly running from it like poison. The same woman who attacked every Trump scandal with smug confidence had fallen off her own platform, face first. And then came the kicker. The quiet First Lady finally roared, and that roar echoed straight into Hollywood. If words carry weight, Sunny just got a first-hand lesson in what a $500 million consequence feels like.
Fact of life. Interesting change of tune. For more, we go to our chief Sunny Hostin correspondent for a reaction.
Then came the knockout punch. Greg didn't just go after Sunny, he went after the entire system that made her. He ripped into a culture where you can attack conservatives non-stop, hide behind applause, and call it truth-telling, a world where snark masquerades as courage, and a loud crowd makes you feel untouchable. But Melania's lawsuit shattered that illusion, like a wrecking ball smashing the idea of immunity. Greg pictured the chaos backstage, nervous producers, panicked PR teams, fake smiles on camera, desperate attempts to spin the lawsuit into some twisted badge of honor. He wasn't buying it. Sunny, who claimed to stand for dignity and women's values, had spent years tearing Melania down like it was a sport. And now, with Melania firing back through a lawsuit instead of a tweet, suddenly Sunny wanted sympathy, suddenly, she was the victim. Greg laughed. The victim card doesn't work when you've spent years throwing the first punch.